Hi, I'm Pam Day, and this is Talk the Truth Tuesday. I've got on my red, white, and blue. It's Spirit Week at work, and today was the Flag Day. So, anyways, I just want to welcome you to Talk the Truth Tuesday. I want to talk to you a little tonight from the topic, Be Intentional. I'm going to be reading a little bit from Daniel, the 6th chapter, verses 3 through 10. Anyways, it goes like this. Then this Daniel began distinguishing himself among the commissioners and satraps because he possessed an extraordinary spirit, and the king planned to appoint him over the entire kingdom. Then the commissioners and satraps began trying to find a ground of accusation against Daniel in regard to government affairs, jealousy. But they could find no ground of accusation or evidence of corruption, inasmuch as he was faithful, and no negligence or corruption was to be found in him. Then these men said, "We will not find any ground of accusation against this Daniel unless we find it against him in regard to the law of his God." Then these commissioners and satraps came to agreement to the king and spoke to him as follows: "King Darius, live forever. All the commissioners of the kingdom, the prefects and the satraps, the high officials and the governors have consulted together that the king should establish a statute and enforce an injunction that anyone who makes a petition to any god or man besides you, O king, for 30 days shall be cast into the lion's den. Now, O king, establish the injunction and sign the document so that it may not be changed according to the laws of the Medes and Persians, which may not be revoked." Therefore, King Darius signed the document, that is the injunction. Now when Daniel knew that the document was signed, he entered his house. Now in his roof chamber he had open windows toward Jerusalem. And he continued kneeling on his knees 3 times a day, praying and giving thanks before his God, as he had been doing previously. Daniel prayed 3 times a day. He was intentional about serving his God. No matter what the decree was in the land, no matter what was happening around him, even though he knew there could be devastating results, he still prayed. He was intentional. Verse 10 tells us that even after he knew the document was signed, he knew it had been signed, he went into his prayer room with the windows open for all of Jerusalem to see and continued to kneel and pray to God and give thanks just as he had been doing previously. He continued an intentional worship to an intentional God. We serve an intentional God, and we're made in the likeness of him. Ephesians 5:1 says, "Be ye imitators of God as beloved children." In that same way that he is intentional, we have to be intentional in serving him. Romans 12:1 says, "I beseech ye therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service." God is intentional in that he has a plan and a purpose for our lives. He even said that he knew us before we were in our mother's wombs. He said, "I knew you." We, in turn, have to be intentional in our worship. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. It has to be with intent. It has to be intentional. We have to be intentional in our praise. "I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise." We have to be intentional in our prayer. His word says, "You have not because you ask not." Be intentional in our living for him. In all you say and do, be intentional in our love. And don't forget to love people and lift people up. Your worship to God is not about you. It's about him. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thine kingdom come. Thine will be done on earth as it is in heaven. God woke me up out of a sound sleep with this message for tonight. So I encourage you. Be intentional. I hope you have enjoyed this and I hope it has encouraged you. Please like and share this video. Be blessed, everyone, and have a good night. I'm Pam Day, and this is Talk the Truth Tuesday.